What would $100,000 look like in 20 years using simple interest? You have compound interest, and alternatively, you have a direct reinvestment program. What is your investment going to look like in 20 years based upon those three options? Okay, let's go into this. Let's see how much money we're going to have in 20 years when we invest $100,000. First example, we have $100,000 that we are going to be investing at an interest rate of 4%. Now, this is a simple interest example, which means there's no compounding effect that's going to happen from our investment. Now, we have a 20-year horizon, as we stated at the beginning of the video. So let's look and see what happens with our simple interest investment at 4% interest. Now, year one, we are going to generate, and the assumptions that I'm making for this investment is we're ignoring tax for the time being, and this is going to be paid annually. This is an annual interest payment that is made. We're not worried about monthly, quarterly interest payments. Now, with the $100,000 investment at 4% interest, it's going to generate $4,000 of interest income. Now, how is that going to play out for the next 19 years? All right, let's just fill this in. So I'm going to drag the principal amount because it's simple interest. There's no compounding effect. Just throw some dollar signs on here so we can just drag this formula down. Since there's no compounding effect from this simple interest investment, we are just going to be generating 4% interest off the invested capital, which is $4,000 a year. So at the end of 20 years, my investment would be worth $180,000. My $100,000 that I invested, plus I've generated $80,000 of interest income over the 20 years. If you've gotten any value out of this video so far, please smash that like button and consider subscribing. All right, let's go to scenario number 2. Einstein had a very famous quote that said, "Compound interest is the 8th wonder of the world. He who understands it earns it. He who doesn't pays it." And we're going to go through why that quote is very powerful when you apply it to investments over a longer period of time. So compound interest, not only are we going to generate interest off of our principal, we're also going to generate interest off of the interest that's earned year after year. And in this example, again, we're going to ignore taxes. And the compound frequency, we're just going to make it easy on ourselves. It's annually. We're not going to do quarterly, monthly, or even continuous compounding. There's this concept of continuous compounding where you're compounding day after day after day. This is just annual compounding interest. We're going to keep this as simple as possible. Year one of our $100,000 investment at 4%, same interest rate, it's going to look identical. However, year two is going to look very different because our beginning balance, since we're compounding, is not $100,000, it's $104,000. So we are earning interest on top of interest. So I'm going to throw some dollar signs here so we can drag this formula down quickly. We're going to take this. You can see how this plays out. So I dragged the formula down. So what's happening there is each year we're taking our principal and adding the interest back into the principal and then multiplying it by 4%. So each year we're earning 4% on the principal, and we're also earning 4% on the accumulated interest. And you can see it makes a pretty big difference, especially over a long time frame. That same $100,000 compounded generated $119,112 of interest income versus the simple interest that generated $80,000. So that same investment just compounded after 20 years is worth $219,112 compared to a simple interest investment of $180,000. So over 20 years, compounding has generated an extra $39,000 of value. That is the power of compound interest. If you can compound your investment over time, you're going to end up with much better results if compared to a simple interest example where you're just generating the same interest on the same amount of principal each year. Now let's look at an alternative. These two are going to be fixed income. You could do this with a CD. You can do this with a money market account. This next example is going to be something you're going to have to purchase on the open market and let it accumulate over time in a different compounding way. Let's look at our third example, which is a DRIP, a Direct Reinvestment Program. A Direct Reinvestment Program is a program that allows investors to automatically reinvest their cash dividends into additional shares of the company's stock, ETF stock, mutual fund stock, instead of receiving the dividends as cash. This is the compounding effect that we saw with the $100,000 of compounded interest over time. Now we're going to look at a stock and compare the results of a direct reinvestment program. Now, I'm making the assumption that the 3% yield is going to hold steady. This is going to be like a large cap growth stock or a large cap value stock that is paying regular dividends and increasing them year after year. Like a McDonald's is a good example. They're increasing their dividend each year. And I'm making a very low growth assumption of 2%. So we have a 3% dividend yield. Dividend yield is very similar to interest. Basically, if you're going to compare this, dividend yield, just change that for interest. If this was $100,000 invested and it was earning 3% interest, we would generate $3,000 of interest income. This is just generating 3% of dividends instead of interest because it's a mutual fund stock that's paying dividends instead of interest. The difference is there's some tax differences between the two. This is not the video to isolate the tax differences here, but I just wanted to give a sense that the yield, interest rate yield and dividend yield, very similar concepts, but the form and substance of them is a little bit different. Now, the other consideration that we're going to throw in here is growth. With mutual funds and ETFs, you have the ability, if you select the right stock, that's going to go up in value. So not are you only generating dividends in this situation, you're also generating a little bit of growth from the stock increasing in value. Now, we make our investment, our stock investment of $100,000, 3% yield, 2% growth. Or $100,000, we'll generate $3,000 of dividends. And with those dividends, we're going to reinvest into the stock. We're going to buy more shares. So our dividends are going to increase our cost basis, which means when I go into year 2, my value is going to be $103,000 without the growth. So let's factor in growth. We had 3% growth in value along with the dividends that we are reinvesting. So let's look at that. 2026, we are starting off with a value of $105,000. We reinvested the $3,000 of dividends that we received, and we also experienced 2% growth on the investment that we made. So in 2026, we're starting off with $105,000. So let's run through the motions on this again, and there's a nice compounding effect, much like the compounding interest example that we just went over. And now I'm going to put my dollar signs. Our growth assumption. I'm just going to run it one more time. So you can see we're taking our beginning basis. We generated 3% yield of dividends. We're reinvesting those. And we had 2% growth on our growing balance. Now we're going to run it all the way down for the 20 years. So in this example, with a direct reinvestment program, with a stock that we bought with a 3% growing yield and a 2% growth each year, we're going to generate $99,100 $198 of dividends, along with a value increase of $66,132, which our overall investment value ends up being $265,329 or $330. So what are the pieces of that? That's our initial $100,000 investment. That's our dividends that were reinvested, and that's the growth of the stock over time. So you have a compounding effect of the dividends increasing the number of shares you own, and then you have the growth factor because the company is going up in value. 2% growth is not a high growth company. That's pretty low growth. And when I add those two together based upon the $100,000 I invested, I have a very nice compounding impact, leads to a value of $265,330. And if I compare the three, I have simple interest, no compounding effect. After 20 years, that same $100,000 is $180,000. Compounding, same $100,000, exact same interest rate. I'm ending up with $219,112. If I take a little bit more risk and I go to the stock market, buy a large cap growth, large cap value with a steady dividend and low growth, that same situation, now I know it's 3% yield, 2% growth, a little bit different than 4% interest, I could end up with $265,330 based upon the same $100,000 invested in 2025 over 20 years. So I just want to show the power of compounding, and then also the power of a little extra risk. You can really, with a very low growth dividend paying stock, end up with even more value compared to a money market or CD over a 20-year period of time. Compound interest can be very powerful. Use it to your advantage, especially when you're making investments over a long period of time. I hope you got some value out of this video. I appreciate you. Have a good rest of the day. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.